Are the Houston Rockets a legitimate contender? What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Style back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. And here to talk about the Rockets after a surprising upset victory over the Milwaukee Bucks, okay? And let's talk about if we should take the Rockets more seriously. Are they a dark horse team to win the NBA championship? So let's talk about that. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so, folks. The NBA season has started. We are in full NBA mode, and I'm trying to bring you guys the latest and greatest and best NBA content. And I will be doing so, folks, up until, obviously, the season ends. So taking you all the way up to the playoffs and more, okay? So go ahead and subscribe and follow me on my social media links down below and on the screen for that. So with that being said, let's get into it. So I watched this game between the Bucks and the Rockets, the entire thing. And I got to tell you, I was very impressed, okay? Very impressed with the Rockets because I saw the Rockets do things that I had not seen the Mike D'Antoni Rockets do before. You know, we had James Harden playing legitimate defense in the passing lane. The man ended up with 6 steals, okay? Just overall, obviously, the team defense was pretty good. Russell Westbrook had a very solid game. He shot mid-range jumpers. The Rockets don't really shoot mid-range jumpers, but Russell Westbrook did in this game. And the Rockets also still took more three-pointers than I would have thought. So a lot of things were surprising about this game. And that is essentially why I wanted to talk about it, because they beat the Bucks, who everybody knows is a legitimate contender for the NBA championship this year. So does that mean the Rockets should be considered a contender as well? Well, for me, I've always said the Rockets are more pretender than contender. They've always been in that second tier. To me, it's always been 3 teams, right, in the entire NBA: the Lakers, Clippers, and the Bucks, right? And in the West, the tier is the Lakers and Clippers, and then the Rockets fall in that tier with the Nuggets. You want to put them with, I think Nuggets and Rockets are in that tier. I consider OKC and Utah below that, but they're right in the second tier, okay? They're not in the tier with the Lakers and Clippers, and they're in the second tier. But unlike the Nuggets, who only have 1 superstar, the Rockets have 2, okay? And the formula for the NBA championship, folks, usually boils down to whoever has the most superstars, right? So, or whoever has the best superstars. And so the Rockets have 2. They do. And so let's talk about this game in particular, because I think we can look at some key takeaways, okay? The Rockets obviously have fully embraced small ball. And let me tell you, Robert Covington has been incredible for them. I mean, this man does everything. He is literally perfect for this team. And he was ridiculous too, okay? But let me just give you some numbers here, okay? The Rockets shot 40% from the field. And the Bucks shot pretty much 50%, 49%, 50%. And the Rockets won. Okay, so 10 less percent, they still won. The Bucks attempted 35 threes and the Rockets attempted 61 threes. The Bucks went 9 for 35, the Rockets went 21 for 61. So the Bucks were 26%, the Rockets 34%. The Bucks had 65 rebounds and the Rockets had 36. The Bucks had 60 points in the paint and the Rockets had 20. And the Rockets still won this game. How, you might ask? Well, they hit their three-pointers. They played pretty solid defense. And here's the thing, though. Milwaukee just routinely kept leaving the Rockets guys wide open on the perimeter. I mean, PJ Tucker had all day to shoot, and he just was like open all day. Like, they just gave that shot. Brook Lopez could not cover and get back to PJ Tucker. He would help every time on James Harden driving. And so, again, I don't know if other teams would play defense like that against the Rockets, where they're literally letting the Rockets shoot threes, because, again, we all know the Rockets like to shoot threes, so you want to stop a team from doing what they're good at. And so what it boils down to me is this. This game looks like more of an anomaly than a trend, because if you're telling me in a series the Rockets can do this 4 out of 7 games, more power to you. But for the Rockets to do this, to hit your three-pointers, the saying, live by the 3, die by the 3, that there's a reason that saying's out there. The Rockets to do that for the Rockets to attempt 63s every game, for the Rockets to get out rebounded and just get destroyed in the paint, it's tough for me to think that. So to me, like I said, this is why, things like defense, high percentage shots, these are things you can rely on, right? The Rockets obviously play a different style of basketball, and more power to them. They've completely embraced small ball, and I'm okay with that. But point being is, for the Rockets to be a legitimate contender, they're going to have to do this 4 out of 7, okay? And I just don't think they can do that. You can have 1 good shooting night. You can have 2 good shooting nights. I don't think you can have 4 out of 7 great shooting nights. You can get hot in a series, but now maybe you want to talk about the entire playoffs? So no. So that's the whole point here. The Rockets are so reliant on that they just go off of volume. And if a team finds a way to cut off, the 3-point shots, because the Bucks, like I said, we're just giving them up in the corners, they're gonna, obviously, they're gonna get destroyed. The Rockets are. And here's the funny part: Brook Lopez had a monster game. Brook Lopez, because PJ Tucker couldn't guard him because he's got like a foot on him. Brook Lopez does. And so what happens when you go up against Anthony Davis? What happens when you go up against these bigs, Nikola Jokic in the West, and Brook Lopez does that to you? Anthony Davis is going to go 40-20 every night. And so to me, that's the problem here, folks. Yes, very impressive win by the Rockets. More power to them, but it's all about sustaining this. And I just don't think they can in a series in 4 out of 7. So there you have, folks. I still think the Rockets are more pretender than contender. But again, they are a wild card and they are an X factor. If there's a team that scares me, it's the Rockets. They scare me more than the Nuggets, than the Jazz, than the Thunder. The Rockets do. Because if they get hot, look out. So let me know what you guys think. If you agree or disagree with me, leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.